Hi, it's me again with Corel Draw Tips and Tricks, and this is part 3 of this creating a logo from start to finish. The other thing I don't like about it is the outside line isn't a very good line. It needs a little help. This is probably the easiest thing you could fix. The object is all grouped together, so we need to ungroup it. And what I would do always would be Control D and make a duplicate and just put that duplicate off to the side in case you mess up and you have to start over and you can't go back. So we're going to ungroup this, and we're going to grab our circle and we're just going to move it out of the way. Now if you notice, our circle is 4 inches. So we're going to take a circle that's 4 inches. I draw a hairline, but we're going to change it to black, and we're going to change the width. So I go up to 100% black. Okay, and then I need to change it. I'm going to change it to 2 point. But one thing you need to think about, you need to check right here, scale with object. Because this thing is only 4 inches. If you make it bigger, that line is going to get thinner. So 2 points isn't enough. Let's go 4, still scale with object. That's about the right size. And because we're working in the center of the page, we can hit P. And if you'll look at the 2 lines, mine is a little bit thicker, so you can make it a little thinner. But look how even my line is versus that line. So we are going to reduce this line to, like, let's go 3. And that's probably dead on. And keep in mind, you do not have to use the numbers that Corel gives you. And I've got my decimals set way out. So you've only got 2, 3, and 4. A lot of people think, well, I can only do that. Well, you can type right in here, delete the number and type in 3.25. And you can make a 3.25 line. You don't have to use the default numbers. They just do that for convenience, but you can type in anything you want. Now, I also said that, so we'll just delete the old logo. I do not think this is too bad. And a matter of fact, it kind of looks cool, but there are some areas that could be cleaned up. You know, I don't know what's going on here, you know, not for sure. So we're gonna, it's already ungrouped. Let's grab the shape tool and select on our item, and let's just delete this node. And let's delete these 2 nodes. And maybe even delete that node and see what happens. And that looks pretty good. Now they should be both equal, but it's a drawing, so who knows really what's supposed to look like. And you don't want to play around too much to get it too far. But there's a couple ways you could fix this stuff. But the easiest way to do it, I think, would be to grab a circle and hit P on the keyboard. That's not the circle I wanted. We'll just create a second circle. And because this is not a regular, it's not a perfect round circle, we're going to use this circle right here. I'm going to hit P, put it in the center of the page. We do not need that other circle. That other circle is for my text to path if I was going to do it. Now we're going to change our nudge distance to something smaller. And we're going to change it to, I need to be off my item. We're going to change it to 0.001. We want to just barely nudge it. Let's grab the zoom tool. And we need to take this line and nudge it down. And when you don't go fast enough, you can hold down the shift key as you're nudging, or just start moving it down and then hold down the control key and it'll still be in the center of the page. So what I'm doing, I'm creating a line, so now we can nudge it down just a little bit more. As a matter of fact, we'll get over here and make it a little even. And then I'm going to make a duplicate of that line, Control D. And I'm going to nudge this one up. I'm going to hold down the shift key so it'll nudge a little faster. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to draw, and if I was doing this for real, I'd take more time. I'm going to draw a line from there to there. Now I'm going to delete It probably won't let me do it yet. So what we're going to do, we're going to take the Smart Fill tool and fill this shape in. Well, it's getting on my, I'm filling in the white. It doesn't really matter. That's not what I want to do. So what we need to do is change our nudge factor back to something bigger. Let's change it to back to 2 inches. This time we'll nudge to the right. 1 time, 2 times. 1 time, 2 times. Now I got to get my little dash marks that are in here. I'm going to hold down the shift key and grab both of them. And I'm going to go 1, 2 times, 2 times nudge over. Now we have this shape. I'm going to take the Smart Fill tool and I'm going to fill this in. Then I'm going to nudge it over 1 time and I'm going to left click and right click to get an outline. Now we should be able to take these lines, and it would almost be easier to take them and look at them as a hairline. So I'm going to left click no fill. It's trying to grab my circle each time. So what you can do, if it's grabbing your circle, you can take your circle and arrange and order and put it to the back of the page. That way when you click on something, you only get the inside. I'm going to left click, right click. Now we can very easily delete these lines with numerous of tools. One of them would be the pick tool, but one of them would be the shape tool. And we're just going to select around the shape that we want to get rid of. And you'll see in just a minute where I'm going with this. Just making sure you don't get any other nodes in there. Now we're going to take our new shape, and our nudge is still set on 2 inches, and we'll nudge it over. Now let's take the Smart Fill tool and fill in our shape. Look what I've created there. I've created a good, instead of this, I've got this. And this is personal preference. This wouldn't look bad. This is the drawing, but I just thought I'd throw this in here. Now what you could also do, because it kind of looks square, you could grab your shape tool, select those, right click, turn them into a curve, unselect them, select them again. I've got them both. Get off of them, select them again and get right in the middle, and you can make this a curve. Now it won't look like that because you've got that line in there. Do the same thing here. Select both these, right click, turn them to curve, click off of them, get about in the middle. I grab one of the nodes. I'm going to have to zoom in here. Grab about in the middle. And you're kind of giving your shape a rounded shape. Now we can actually get rid of our line by putting no fill. So there's our new shape, and I think it looks a lot better. There's numerous things you could do here. And then you'd want to always remember to select the whole thing and right click no outline so you get rid of that red. And the only thing I don't know what happened is to my, where did my circle go? That's not it. I must have deleted. Oh, I put it to the back of the page, but where's it at? There it is. Because it is an outline, so let's do this. Let's nudge it out of the way. Let me zoom in here so you can see what's going on. Select all this and left click, no outline. Then you can nudge this back. That's why I like the nudge tool. And really and truly, this logo's done. There's a little bit of cleaning up that could be done. And this does look a little bit better from a distance. And you could clean up this node. You know, you could take these nodes and just delete a few and make it more symmetrical. You know, play around with it. And you could change numerous things with this. You know, make this here. Bring that down a little bit. And you could actually use these two on the opposite side, by doing the same thing. Just use that same shape, put it over here when you've got no fill. So let's just take our shape tool. Let's just do that. I always find more things that could just keep going. I'm just selecting these nodes and deleting. Then you could take this shape. See if I can grab it. Break curve apart because it was part of my other deal. Control D and make a duplicate, and then mirror it. And then you don't have to use the control button because you don't know exactly where it's going. So you've killed two birds with one stone. And there's some other things that could be done in here, but that looks pretty cool, pretty good. And then just take your Smart Fill tool and fill it in. And then always make sure you do the same thing by getting this out of the way, selecting all, left click, no outline, and bring basically this as an outline, even though it's thin or thick. And there's several things more you could do with the shrine. The text doesn't look too bad. In this case, I would almost leave it. This would engrave really good. And then I would just select it all and Control G to make it a group. Anyway, I hope that helped a little bit, and thank you for watching.